Yeah. Yeah.
Welcome everyone. So what are we going to do now? We are preparing to make a soup. I'm going to make a cream of mushroom soup. And what I have here now, I have some onions, bell peppers, all the colors, the tricolors. I have some daikon, and I have some leeks, ginger, and garlic. This is my mushrooms that I'm going to use for my soup. Then I have some green onions or scallion and some other mushrooms. This is the trumpet mushroom. This mushroom I'm using here is a mixture of portobello, both the big ones and the baby. Together, chop them up, and this is what I'm going to use. I have a couple of bay leaves that I'm going to add to it. I have my habanero pepper as usual, and then I'm going to pick from my herb vase and pick what I like to use from here to add to my soup. But all of these right now, I'm going to saute in my pot on the stove, which is right now has some grapeseed oil, about maybe 2 tablespoons of grapeseed oil that I'm going to saute those in, bring them to a nice, consistency that I like when it's kind of properly cooked. Then I'm going to add my rice to it, quickly saute it, then my mushrooms, and then I'm going to add my stock, turn it down, and let the stove do its job, which is to bring everything to a nice, soup based. And of course, I'm going to add my fresh herbs as well. So that's the plan. So just give me a couple of minutes and let me just go in and start sauteing these vegetables. Okay? So onions. Sizzling away my onions. Medium heat. Then I'm going to add the celery, bell peppers, back to, yep, looks good and it smells fantastic already. So now I'm going to add my leeks to it. And I like to add leeks to soup. It's the soup typically is, the leek is a little bit firmer in texture than an onion. So it is a little bit longer to break down. And that's why it's perfect for a soup, because typically your soup takes a long time, right? Slow and steady is what you want to do when you're actually making a soup. So it really requires a little bit of a labor of love, but it is totally worth it. Soup you can make a whole big batch, like what I'm going to do, and you can have it multiple times. You can freeze it, put it in the freezer, and just keep reusing it. So now I'm just adding my diced up garlic, and I had a few pieces of ginger in there as well. You don't have to if you don't want to. I had some daikon left over. I pulled up about 12 daikons from my backyard a week or so ago. So I had some small one left over, so I'm adding that as well. And it has a very unusual taste, and it's an acquired taste. Not everyone likes the taste of the daikon, but it's actually quite good for you. It has a lot of, really good health benefits. And, so it's very good for you. So it's worth it. Just get over the taste a little bit and try and see if you can add some daikon to your life. Okay? And let that simmer down for a little bit. And what I'm going to do now is add a little bit of salt and pepper to this. So I've got my sea salt, my pink sea salt. I'm just going to add a few. That's my teaspoon. And then I'm going to add some black pepper to it as well. A couple of shake. You can just taste afterwards, once you're done, you just taste afterwards and just see if it needs anything else. Even right now, while it's sauteing, just always have a spoon close by to taste to see how things are pulling together. Okay, so everything look as if they're cooking down nicely. And then I'm going to add my rice in. So, and the reason I'm adding my rice in now, because I want my rice to toast up with the sauteed medley of onions and peppers and so on. And what it does, it breaks down that, it toasts up the rice and it gives a nicer flavor once you do that. I'm using wild black rice. You can use whatever rice you want. Your brown rice, your, your different types of quinoa, or you can use traditional wild rice. But this is the one I'm using today. I have 2 cups, by the way. So 2 cups. I'm just gonna mix it all together like so. Okay. So that's what we did. And I'm gonna let that stay on for a couple of minutes. Allow the rice to toast up and incorporate with all of the other vegetables that I put in there and onions and so on, and let it just soak up some of that flavor into the rice. And then a few minutes later, I'm going to add my mushrooms to it, and then my stock, and then my herbs. So that's the plan. Okay, so I think my rice is nice and toasty. I just checked. So now I'm just going to add my mushrooms. And it's a cream of mushroom soup, so that's the reason why there's a lot of mushrooms in it. So I'm just going to stir all of that around. It's going to be very mushroom forward, as they say. And now I'm just going to add my stock. So I just poured out about 2 cups of stock that I'm adding here. Perfect. Okay. It's a lot of veggies. It looks like I might need another 2 more cups of stock. It's a soup after all, right? So you want a lot of the liquid. So, okay. So it's called a cream of mushroom, soup, right? So I need some cream. So I have 2 cups of coconut milk. Again, you do not have to use coconut milk. You can use any plant-based milk, but it's called cream of mushroom, so it needs some sort of cream, right? So that's why I'm using coconut milk. So I'm just going to pour that in. Perfect. And now I'm just going to add my herbs. So I'm picking my parsley, curly parsley. I'm picking the Italian parsley, the Greek oregano, some thyme, and I'm just dropping all of that in there, just like that. Some fresh rosemary, but I'm not going to put all of that. I'm just going to take a few from here. So you just kind of, run your fingers like this to get the rosemary off. So that much I'm using. Got a couple of bay leaves that I'm going to put in, and my habanero pepper. Just give it a few minutes to get to a nice roaring boil, and then we just turn it down nice and slow for it to continue cooking the rice and cooking all of the vegetables, incorporate everything into one to give it this delicious soup. So while my soup is on the fire, sort of like getting me to that boil that I need before I can simmer her down, let me prepare my topping. So my topping, basically, some people like crunch, right? So all I'm doing is I just got some trumpet mushrooms, and I just, slice them up. And I'm just going to add a little bit of some sesame oil to it. Just give it a nice flavor. And then I have some salt and pepper in this container here. Just going to sprinkle on top. I'm going to put this now in the oven to roast up. Okay, so we're going to have something a little bit crispy that we can eat, and it's all mushrooms. The order of the day today is mushrooms. And it's going to lower the temperature. And all I'm going to do now is just turn this fire down low and cover and leave it for 25 to 30 minutes. Then I'll taste and add some more fresh herbs and my finishing green onions on top. So I'm just going to leave it there for a little while, for about 25 minutes or so, for it to simmer down, cook, incorporate all the flavors, and more importantly, cook that rice as well, right? Because it's cream of mushroom, wild rice soup. Okay, so let it just cook the soup down and just absorb all of the flavors and get us that nice, body, rich looking soup. Okay, so now you can see that my soup is almost finished. I'm simmering down quite nicely, and basically now I'm just going to, prepare it, just serve it out, so you can see what it looks like once it's finished. Add the finishing touches to it, and then that would be your cream of mushroom soup. So let's start, serving up our mushroom soup in a small little soup bowl. So I'm just going to get a little of the rice first. So I'm just going to pour that in there. And then I'm just going to focus now on getting some of the mushrooms on top. And then all of the nice bits, which is all of the nice juice. Oh, creamy soup. So that's our cream of mushroom soup. And then I just have a couple sprigs of green onions that I put on top. And remember those trumpet mushrooms that I roasted up in the oven? So add a few of those on top. Some people like to have a little bit of a crunch when they're eating something like this, which is, mostly liquid. So that's the reason for just adding those to it. So that's basically your cream of mushroom soup. Very, very hearty. You can actually have this as, it's obviously a complete meal. It has the wild rice in it, and then it has, all the soup liquid from the stock that we made, and lots of mushrooms. So it's a very, very healthy but hearty soup at the same time that you can have for lunch or for dinner. It's perfect. So you have a very nice plant-based alkaline soup right here that you can make. Doesn't take that long to prepare. So what did we do today? So we made a cream of mushroom soup with some portobello mushrooms, and both the big ones and the baby bella mushrooms. And we added, seasoning, we added the wild rice, and for the creaminess, we added some coconut milk. But again, you can use any plant-based milk for this soup. It came out very nice, as you can see. We added some crunch on top, which is just some trumpet mushrooms that I, slice up thinly, and add some salt and pepper or whatever season that you may like. Put it in the oven, get nice and crispy, and that way when you're, eating your soup, you have the softness and the liquidity from the soup itself, but a little bit of a crunch from those trumpet mushrooms as well. So very, very hearty dish that you can have a nice bowl like this for dinner or for lunch or for whenever you feel like having it. But it's a nice, easy recipe. It's soup, so it takes a little bit of long time, no problem. Leave it on, go back to work or go back to whatever you're doing. Leave it to simmer for as long as you like. As soon as you get that enhanced flavor that you like, you can turn it off, and now you have your soup that what I made can last me for probably about 4 days. So what I tend to do is to put some away into a container, put it in the freezer, and maybe next week or so I'll have another cup of it. But yes, this is a nice cream of mushroom soup. You know, when you start on this plant-based diet or lifestyle, I should say, you'll find that you start trying different types of vegetables and fruits. And for me, mushrooms was a big hurdle for me to get over because I've never enjoyed eating mushrooms prior. But now it has become my best friend. So a lot of people who are in this space, in this plant-based lifestyle space, they do consume a lot of mushrooms because it gives them that meaty flavor that they're looking for. So you'll see that being incorporated in a lot of dishes, but also think about it has a lot of health benefit. It does pack a nice punch. A soup like this, it's nourishing, it's flavorful, it's satisfying. Right? It's enjoyable. So you're getting all the positives that you could need. You're getting in this soup, and it tastes great, by the way. So yes. So until next time. When we have, another recipe to go through. So again, thank you so much for watching. Thanks for joining me. Thanks for being patient with me while I take you through some of these dishes. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you can get more tips from me and more recipes and cooking ideas for us, because we're working together on this for us to maintain this this lifestyle, this plant-based lifestyle. Remember, stay away from man's food and stick to the food that the Creator has given us, okay? So until next time, have a blessed day. And don't forget, gratitude is a must. Thank you for joining.